This is a steal for the Avs as they have just finally made the trade to send Miles Wood and Charlie Coyle out of Colorado and to Columbus. And in return, they got picks and a fairly intriguing prospect and have cleared plenty of cap space to make more moves later on. What is Avs Nation? In this episode of Avs Digest, we're going to be talking about how much cap space this opened up for the Avs to make more moves, what exactly they got out of this trade, and just how good the Avs are set up to keep making more as time goes on because of it. This has been Avalanche Digest. Absolutely love you guys. We're going to dive right into it. But before I do, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe because 92.3% of you guys aren't actually subscribed. And I promise you won't regret it. It's free. But enough with the yapping and let's just get right into it. So the big trade of the day, possibly not the only trade the Avs will make today, is that the Colorado Avalanche have traded away Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood to Columbus for Gavin Brindley and 2 picks, that being a third-round pick in this draft and a 2027 second-round pick. So definitely picks that will almost immediately get traded in this offseason perhaps or during this season, as well as a very interesting prospect in Gavin Brindley. Now, Gavin Brindley is a guy that actually I was thinking the Avs would take in the 2023 draft. Remember, that was the draft the Avs took Cale Makar and Mikhail Gulyayev in. And Gavin Brindley is awesome. He has an Avs written all over him. He plays exactly how they like to play. He's a defenseman, which is also important to recognize when you're looking at stats and numbers and all that. This guy is sick. I mean, I'm trying not to use language, but he is awesome. This guy has been lighting up Michigan for the last few years. He came to the NHL just recently. He was actually playing in the AHL, just honing his skill. You can see that he's a small guy. And you can see that there's definitely a good Sam Girard comparison to make here, but I think Gavin Brindley has the potential to be even better offensively than Sam Girard is, and that's just awesome. Now, let's really just talk about how well this sets the Avs up in the future. And Bailey Curtis pointed this out pretty well. The Avs have $9 million in cap space now, and obviously center is a big question mark, and there are some guys that could on this team already that could take that. But yeah, they have a lot more money to play around with now. And like she said, we're still waiting on that Malinsky deal, and it will almost certainly get signed now. The Avs have plenty of space to sign Sam Malinsky. Quite honestly, by the time this video drops, he could already be signed. So that's always a thing to watch out for because Sam Malinsky's pretty good, and they're going to have him at a low cap hit. And Gavin Brindley coming up in the Avs system as well as Mikhail Gulyayev most likely coming over at some point soon. Your defensive prospects are suddenly looking really good, and that's something that the Avs need because they need good, cheap options for their defense. Another thing I've heard floated also is that they'll re-sign Ryan Lindgren. I hope not. Ryan Lindgren isn't good. I thought he was your worst defender in the Dallas series. Please do not bring Ryan Lindgren back to this core. But yeah, let's actually look at Gavin Brindley because his stats are pretty good. I mean, you can see in the double NCA, he was sick. And you can also see in the AHL, he started to get his footing underneath him. Obviously, he needs another year. I would not expect him to crack the roster this year for the Colorado Avalanche. I would expect him to possibly get called up if he's really looking good, much like Sam Malinsky was when he was still playing in the AHL. But you can see he was actually fairly good and started to find some good pace in the AHL. And if he takes another step this year, you are really happy with having such a good prospect like Gavin Brindley in the system. A lot of guys are pretty high on him. You can actually see that this was some good charts over him as well. People are incredibly high on this guy. He's definitely small. He needs to adjust to the size, but he's a tenacious forechecker. You can even look at what elite prospects had to say on him. High motor player who also is excelling on the defensive side as well. So a good two-way player that has the potential to grow into a second pairing role for the Colorado Avalanche. Really, the reason I come out with the Sam Girard comparisons is A, because of his size, and also just his play in general. But the thing is, he has all the opportunity in the world to be better than Sam Girard. Sam Girard is good defensively, and I actually think Gavin Brindley might have some of the same problems as Sam Girard going forward. He's going to get beaten in front of the net. But the difference is, you can sign Gavin Brindley for a lot less money than you are already paying Sam Girard. So that's the benefit of it, is you're also saving a lot of money on that contract. If Sam Girard, you do move on from him, or by the time Sam Girard's contract is up, you just decide to sign Gavin Brindley instead. There's a ton of potential now for the Avs to move around however they want. And when you look at this roster, you can see the defense is, for the moment, set. There's definitely going to be movement, most likely with either Girard or Manson. But the top six is set as well, and so is your goaltending. Really, the only thing you're looking at basically is the entire bottom six and saying, what is this train wreck? Because now, obviously, with Charlie Coyle gone and Logan O'Connor gone, you're looking at a situation where Parker Kelly and Jack Drury are your third line wings. And I promise you that will not stay. The Avs have almost $9 million in cap space. So in free agency, I would book it that they're going to get a wing in this free agency. There are guys out there like Anthony Mantha we've mentioned before. Do the Avs really think they can unlock him? It's an interesting thing. Personally, I lean towards no. I think he's a little dangerous, but they have a ton of opportunity. There's a guy called Vladislav Gavrikov that is a highly sought after defenseman in this free agent class that the Avs definitely like. I mean, he plays exactly, he's a good skater, he's big and physical, he's actually pretty good in transition, and he produces well. And that guy is most likely going to make $7 million if the LA Kings don't sign him. Could that potentially be a guy that the Avs bring in now? I mean, the possibility is just off the charts, really. They have a ton of potential for who they want to move and possibly mix around. They have plenty of cap space to move around with. And you can see Ross Colton is most likely going to be your third line center now. And that's kind of always was the plan. That's why he's making $4 million, is because he was most likely going to be their third line center. He was their third line center in the 2023-24 season, and towards the back half of that season he really settled into his role. He played well, his underlying numbers were good, but then they went out and got a third line center, so it really didn't matter at that point whether or not Colton was good at center. But now at $4 million as your 3C, you're no longer talking to Colton like, oh well, yeah, you're making a little bit too much money for a third line wing. No, now Colton's reasonably priced, and you only have to get him good options for third line wings. What a relief to talk about that the only thing the Avs really have to focus on is depth guys for their defense, and extremely, to the word, depth guys for their bottom six. I mean, you already have Parker Kelly, Jack Drury, Logan O'Connor when he's healthy. So that's 4 out of the 6 if you're counting Ross Colton in that. Not a lot of work if you're the Colorado Avalanche, especially with all of the draft capital that they just received. Frankly, I am super excited now with this move. There are definitely more moves to come. Absolutely book it that there will be. This is not the end. There were holes in this roster to fill, but the Avalanche have proven that they are willing to go out and fill them. This has been Avalanche Digest. Hope you enjoyed this episode, Avs Nation, and I will see y'all in the next one.